Rodgers will never be as good as Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers will never be as good as Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers will never be as good as Tom Brady.
So you're still thinking of me, just like I know you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Sportology Podcast with Jack and Matt. We got a special guest today, first guest of the podcast, Dave Zoks. Welcome.
Yo. What's going on?
All right, so today we're going to start it out. We're going to preview the big matchups for Sunday, and then we'll probably go over our fantasy league. The trade deadline was today, so we'll go over the moves that were made before the deadline, and then go over the playoff outlook for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it should be good. We also have a guest speaker, Ethan Reff. We're going to give him a call for the 49ers-Packers game for Sunday night, and he's going to give us what he thinks.
I think he's the only Packers fan we know, right?
I mean, yeah, Packers are pretty bad, so.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to like to hear that. But so the first game this week is Colts Texans, Thursday Night Football, tomorrow. Matthew, what are your thoughts on that game?
I'm gonna start off with Thave, guest speaker. What do you think about today's game?
I mean, I expect the Texans coming off a bad loss. I mean, I expect them to rebound. Is Jacoby Brissett back?
Oh, yeah, he's back. He'll play.
I still think just Deshaun, DeAndre, it's going to be too much.
Yeah, I respect that. I think coming off a big loss for the Texans, I think they're going to bounce back and get this win. With Marlon Mack out for the Colts after surgery, I don't think they're going to be able to put the ball into Brissett's hands 24/7, but I think the Texans will take this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts have that kind of running back by committee with Nyheim Hines, Williams, and Wilkins may or may not play. We'll see before the game what happens with that. But like you guys said, I think the Ravens' defense is much better than the Colts. I don't think it's anywhere close. So I think Texans are definitely going to bounce back. Deshaun Watson is going to have a better game. And I think, like you both said, the Texans are going to win this one.
Yeah, so let's go on to game number 2, 1 o'clock game, Panthers Saints in the Superdome. I'm going to have to go with the Saints. It's going to be, I think, a good divisional game. The Panthers coming off a bad loss to Atlanta last week. It's going to be one that it's a must-win, really. But from the Saints side, looks like they started to get their mojo back. Defense isn't looking too bad. So, yeah, I think the Saints are not going to have too much trouble at home for this one.
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to win this one easily. Kyle Allen looks awful.
Yeah,
he hasn't played well the last 4 weeks.
No.
And like you said, the Saints last week they kind of got back to what they were doing for most of the first half of the season. So, yeah, even though the Panthers have Christian McCaffrey and he can go off for 3 touchdowns any game, I think the Saints are going to be too much.
I mean, seeing how the Saints lost to the 1-7 Falcons shows you how their divisional games are tough.
You're throwing shots at Connor Walsh there?
Yeah, I am. I mean, Drew Brees washed up.
Yeah, he's pretty washed
Kyle
up.
Allen has been playing like shit though, so I mean, I guess it's gonna be closer than it should be. I still think the Saints will win, but it's gonna be closer than it should be.
I can see that.
I got a question for Dave. So, Dave, you think that last couple of weeks have made Carolina question them moving on from Cam Newton? You think they've moved on, right?
Oh, for sure.
So you think that was the right move, or you think Cam Newton next year should still be their quarterback?
I mean, just since his MVP season, he hasn't been the same. They haven't been able to get a line around him.
Yeah.
I think it'd be best for both parties. Chance for Cam Newton to start somewhere else. I mean, because when Cam Newton is fully healthy, we saw in 2015, like he's an MVP caliber talent. But the past 4 years, he just literally has not been healthy. So
yeah, not even talking about Cam Newton with the Panthers. Let's just think about like what are the teams he would go to. So like the Bears come to my mind at first. Do you think he would fit well there?
Yeah, I think the Bears is definitely a place that I think he could have success in, and I think that they're definitely looking for a quarterback now that they realize Mitchell Trubisky is just not going to cut it. And the thing about the Bears, too, they have very good young talent on defense and on offense. And I think that they need to start to figure something out quick before that time span moves.
Yeah. So the next game on Sunday that could be a big one is Seahawks Eagles. The Eagles I think they need to win this game to stay in the hunt for not even the wild card spot, but the NFC East.
It would be a big win, I think, because as we're going to go over soon, Cowboys play the Patriots this week. It could be a big win for them, but the Seahawks, with Russell Wilson, they're looking really good. I think the Seahawks defense is their weakest point. I think that's why you see that the line is Philadelphia -2.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia is covered. I mean, they're
favored.
They're favored, and with it, they just got healthy last week. I mean, they're still missing Alshon and
Deshaun Jackson
and Deshaun, but I think their secondary is finally healthy, and they actually played well against the Patriots. Their defense played well against a struggling Patriots offense. Well, this is a must-win game. Like the last game was a must-win game, but they're what?
They're 5-5.
How far back are they?
5-5, and Cowboys are 6-4.
Yeah, so they're 1 game back.
But still, with the schedule they have, this would be a big win on their schedule.
Yeah, this would be a big win. I don't think it's a must-win. It is a big game. I don't think it's a must-win just because the Cowboys' schedule is really hard down the stretch.
Because the Cowboys probably taking an L, so it's gonna be 5-6 to 6-5. They'll still be a game back.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they play Week 16 or something, and I'm projecting that's gonna be a winner.
Deciding factor.
Winner goes to the playoffs type.
So talking about the Cowboys game, let's get into that one. 4:25, America's game of the week, as always it is, because for some reason Cowboys are America's team. Yeah. Don't know where they get that from, but anyways, Patriots versus Cowboys in Foxborough. I'm gonna have to say the Patriots. With the struggling defense of the Cowboys, I don't think that they're gonna really. I think that they may put up a fight, but it's gonna take Tom Brady like a week that Tom Brady had last week in order for this game to be close at all.
Yeah. Before we talk to Dave about this game, I just want to let everyone know that Dave is a Patriots fan. So there's about
a little bias.
There's about a 100% chance he's gonna pick the Patriots. But Dave, who do you think is gonna win this game and why?
Of course, I'm gonna pick the Patriots. I think it's gonna be 30-14, something like that.
Score prediction.
All right.
Okay.
I think the Patriots will score into the 30s because they have struggled since week? Since early in the season. Since
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, since around Buffalo. But they lost to Iowa in week 2. So really since week 2, they were really good the first couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They also had Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And they play the Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they play the Steelers.
Yeah.
But with Isaiah win back, because the guys, Tom Brady, if you watch the games, has to throw every ball within a second.
Yeah.
Most of his throws are short throws, so this will open, first of all, the run game, play action pass, allows play to develop downfield. See Muhammad Sanu in action, N'Keal Harry coming back, Julian Edelman. It's gonna be a wrap.
The one thing I can agree with Dave is that if it's any team, Patriots is the team that would turn up on a big this is. Although the Cowboys have struggled throughout the season, 6-4, they're not looking too bad, and this is a game that the Patriots could wake up on. Bill Belichick has that, effect that when his team's struggling, they come up big in big games, and this could be the turning factor for the Patriots in the long run for the season.
Yeah. So, Dave, on our last episode, we talked about Dak Prescott, and we were talking about if he should be getting this big contract or not. So, the Cowboys' offense is ranked first in the league right now. Yeah. Do you think they're actually that good? And if so, do you think Prescott should get the money?
I think if they actually had a different coach that they could win the Super Bowl.
Really?
I think Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma, you bring that type of offensive mind in.
I don't know if he'd fit that scheme, though.
But he could develop Dak. He's great at developing quarterback. Dak has been playing excellent, but...
That's what I'm saying. Do you think Dak is for real, or this is not really...
Yeah, he is for real. And I think if he gets a better coach, I'll take the Cowboys to the next level. Because the Cowboys are a team that have the talent, and the pieces to go
make it
live.
far.
Go the wrong way.
But I think Jason Garrett is just holding them back.
All right.
So what do you think? Like, is it? What about the head coach? Is
it that he's more of a defensive coach? And
well,
I mean, they do have Kellen Moore there, but their head coach is obviously defensive.
I mean, he hasn't gotten anything done. Like he's done nothing.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they like throughout the years they've had, like everyone knows, like the best offensive line in the game, and they just keep like. I mean, sometimes they win the division, but as we've seen with the NFC East in the last couple of years, hasn't been very challenging to go through with like, I don't know, 10 wins.
All right, so earlier we talked about how we're going to call our man E-Reff because he's a big Packers fan. So
before we get into the 49ers-Packers game, we will give him a call. He'll be the first one to speak about the game.
Yo, E-Reff, what up?
How's it going?
So this is Ethan Reff. He is our Packers insider for the Sportology podcast, and we're previewing the Week 12 matchups in the NFL this week, and obviously the Packers 49ers game is a big NFC matchup. So what are your thoughts on the game?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. I think we're gonna win. As long as we keep Nick Bosa in check, I think we'll be all right.
Oh yeah, I think that Packers have a good chance for this one. But what do you think the overruling factor is going to be for Sunday night?
Like obviously, in addition to what I said, Nick Bosa's gonna be gotta keep him out of Rodgers, try to limit his sacks, and gotta get Aaron Jones going too. Obviously, he's a big part of our offense, and just gotta get him involved as much as he can.
I personally think that the Packers are phony. They're fake 8-2. Most of their wins are unlegitimized. This will be a real test, and I think they'll. I think it'll be like probably like 31-3 49ers.
E-Reff, are you just gonna
hot take. That's a hot take.
Are you just gonna go like this? Like, what do you have to say back to Dave?
All right, Dave.
You're just gonna.
I mean, Rodgers is still playing better than Brady this year. That's all I know.
Brady might be playing like ass, but we're getting Antonio Brown back soon after
Brady's
that apology.
been pretty bad this year.
All right, these are some hot takes.
After that apology to Rob Kraft, I think Antonio Brown will be back in the next 2 weeks.
Dave is our Patriots insider, so I think he knows what he's talking about.
Isaiah Wynn's coming back. We got our O-line strong.
It's fine. I mean, we'll see them in the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's fine. We'll see you in Miami.
All right, so let's get
All
back.
right, Miami. That's fine.
Let's get back to the Packers 49ers matchup. So let's switch over to the other side of the ball. For the 49ers offense, it's mainly been their rushing attack, and as of late, it's been Garoppolo throwing the ball downfield. So what do you think the main thing or main part of the 49ers offense the Packers needs to stop?
Obviously the run, but do you know if Kittle's playing or not?
I'm not sure yet. I know he's questionable.
So obviously if he plays, like you gotta keep him in check, make sure he doesn't get too many catches. But other than that, just make Jimmy throw the ball. I think if you make him throw the ball a lot, he'll give us the ball, put some picks.
Yeah, I think that's been the formula for most teams. But recently, Jimmy Garoppolo has answered those calls when the offense needs him as most.
I mean, he hasn't been great the past. I know that he's got some dubs, but like he's been that great the past couple games. Like look at him against Seattle.
I mean, he did throw for over 400 yards last week.
Yeah, but how many attempts? Like they threw the ball a ton that game.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
I'm just not a big Jimmy G guy. I don't think he's very good.
Yeah, he also turns the ball over. When it matters, he turns it over. Like against the Seahawks, like he turned it over.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo threw the ball 45 times last week.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 424 yards
normally
and 4 touchdowns.
Normally not what you want.
Plus, you got to take in account that they played the Cardinals, and you can't compare the Cardinals defense to the Packers defense. So. It should be a good one
I mean,
Sunday night.
if you look at the first half of the Cardinals-49ers game, I think that that's the real 49ers team, in my opinion. I really think that their record's very inflated. I don't think they're that good, and I think we're going to beat them.
I can agree with that. I would take that. Thank you for coming on today, E-Ref.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate your side of the story. I'm rooting for the Packers because I don't like Samir very
Appreciate
much.
it.
So we'll see how it goes Sunday night.
Yeah, see you soon,
yeah.
and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Now let's get into our fantasy league. It's been pretty hectic in the last couple of days with the fantasy.
Yeah, so today was the trade deadline in our league. We kind of just sat down at lunch at school, and everyone was just talking trades for a straight 50 minutes. I think only one trade got done.
Yeah,
right?
most trades were just being thrown out there as a joke. The only people really trying to trade was Jack R,
and
Ben,
yeah.
and then Connor and Samir with like 10 minutes left in the deadline ended up making a trade. We'll look over that stuff too. This week's a big week for all fantasy owners, I'm guessing, because we got 2 more regular season games and the playoff rush is looking close.
Yeah, so actually Dave is kind of on the border of making the playoffs. He's the 6th seed right now. He's playing Matthew this week, and Matthew's trying to get the bye. So we got one team who's trying to move up in playoff position, and then Dave is just trying to make the playoffs. So, Dave?
So my team is the most average team out there. I mean, my team tends to underperform. I think DeAndre is going to have a big night. I think Tom Brady is going to drop like 20. I mean, Team Kupp Cetus, I mean, his whole team's on the bye, but he still has like Michael Thomas or someone. Or
Got 7 starters or 7 players on bye, 5 starters.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest, Dave. Any other week, I don't think you'd really have a chance against Matthew, but I think it's good that you're playing Matthew this week. Cause
you're playing team waiver wire this year, or this week.
I'm hoping Allen Robinson hasn't had a good week in about 3 weeks. I'm hoping he goes off. Julio probably be average this week. M. Sanders, I'm looking for a few receptions out of the backfield. Leonard Fournette against Tennessee, I expect a big day from him. We'll see.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to whether my players perform or not. I mean, Dave's players, as he said, can do great some weeks and not too great the other weeks. So it'll be a big win for me, but I'm not sure if I'll end up getting it. So,
so in my game, well, before I talk about my game, we were talking about trade deadline earlier and how me and Ben were talking about making a trade. So we actually agreed on a deal. I have Cooper Kupp, so it was Cooper Kupp and Sony Michel for Mark Ingram and Marvin Jones Jr. It was done the night before. I thought it was a done deal. Turns out, at launch, everyone decides to veto it, so I didn't get the 2 players. So I'm stuck with my original team, kind of butthurt about it.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy between that. I mean, when the trade first came out, I immediately texted in the group chat, freaking out, like, what are you doing, Ben? But other people seemed fine with it. But as the day went along, I sort of helped the case in a way.
No. If Matthew didn't talk about it with everyone, it would have gone through. It's because Matthew was forcing the issue that it got vetoed.
And listen, this is the biggest thing that we really discussed. I'm not going to get through the ins and outs of it, but Sony Michel is a waiver wire player, and Cooper Kupp has had some very good weeks, but recently hasn't done too great. And the good weeks that he goes off for like 30-plus points or 20 points, he's not playing a great opponent. Seattle's the only opponent that he had 30-plus or 20-plus against that they played like a good defense. And Mark Ingram and Marvin Jones are 2 very solid positions for a starter. So my main argument was that like it's not really fair because Ben is just trying to get a win or 2 or just 1 win so he gets out of the toilet bowl match. And it would be a big turning point for Jack's team because I think it would make his team overall better. But there's a lot of controversy between that. But the other trade that went down, like I said, with like 10 minutes left, Samir and Connor made a trade. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Team Patanker traded George Kittle for Nick Chubb.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter because they're
both out of the playoffs.
Well,
so.
Connor thinks he's in the playoffs.
Connor's got a long shot for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one.
Connor Koch, I'm sorry, you're out, brother.
He's out. First one out.
You should be looking forward to the toilet bowl at this point. I mean...
You think he's going to make it?
I mean...
It's looking like it.
Connor Koch, I think his team is in the toilet bowl for good.
All right, so... Before I talked about my trade, I was going to talk about my matchup. So this week I play Samir, who, if his lineup stands, which there's a chance it could.
Samir is trash. His team is he's a bot. I played him last week.
One good win against me. That's it. It was all luck.
He's kind of on the come up. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
He's on the come up now that he made this trade, but his team is still booty.
Like, I'm not going in this week guaranteeing a win, but if his lineup stays the way it is, which there's a chance it could. He has 3 players on bye right now.
Yeah, but you know the only reason you're not guaranteeing a win is because last week on this podcast, I guaranteed a win against Samir. What happened? I lose by 20 points because he somehow has John Brown that gets 34.7 points.
Now I think you're just feeding into Lvov's logic. Jack Lvovsky says at school he says something is not going to happen, and it has happened the last couple weeks. Like, he said Kenny Galladay is going to go off. He had 3.4 points.
Yeah, but he's also jinxing the other team. I jinxed myself on that one. I got to take the blame on that one.
Also, Glob McSquab started off 5-1 and he's lost 5 straight.
Yeah.
Or 6 straight.
No, you see, he started off 0-1. He started off 0-1, then won 5 straight, and now he's lost 5 straight.
Yeah.
And he's looking like he needs to dig himself back out of this hole.
What a story it would be if Thomas Jezik and Connor Koch
we'll see what
both
happens with Thomas.
playoffs.
His team could go off, you know. You never know. I mean, and Team Lvovsky is probably the fakest team in the league.
Yeah, at 8-3, he's not looking like a great team.
None of his wins are legitimized. When you played me twice, my team shit twice. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna do it. But before we go, Dave, I'm gonna ask you if you could choose one person in the league to throw eggs at, who would it be?
I probably have to choose Samir.
You know, it's a tough one. It's definitely Samir at the top, but close in second is Thomas. I would love to throw eggs at Thomas, but mostly Samir, I think, because how much shit he talks about San Francisco, the 49ers. I think it would be great to let it loose on him.
The toilet bowl is going to be very exciting, though.
I know. I think I'm more excited for the toilet bowl than the final.
At the beginning of the year, it was it's going to be Ben or Samir, but easily Thomas's team could slip up or Connor's team could slip up, and we could see either of them lose out in the playoffs and get eggs thrown at them.
Yeah, it's definitely a sight for the finish line. That's for sure.
it's gonna be interesting. So that's gonna do it for our 4th episode of the podcast. I want to thank Dave for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. It was great to have you.
Yes,
First
sir.
one.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. I'll be back on soon. Fuck Jack Lvovsky.
Yes. Hopefully we can get some more of our friends on so you can hear their voices and get their takes. And
we'll see you